What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the only podcast on the internet where you're part of the Roto, part of the chill session, so to speak. And today we have a smaller circle because Roger was not able to make it this week. In our short circle, we have good old Apollo, God the fucking Sun.
Hey, Homer. Hey, internet. It's good to be here. What a nice day.
Heck yeah, we have tons of reviews, tons of news to go over today. But before we get to that, on last week's podcast, we asked you guys, would you rather smoke out with Deadpool or Nicolas Cage?
What an odd question.
Apollo, I've been waiting all week to hear your answer. What do you have to say?
I've been waiting all week to hear my answer, too. And honestly, I love Nick Cage. I really do. But I feel like he'd be a really awkward person to get stoned with, you know? Like, he doesn't seem that chill of a person. Like,
No.
I feel like Deadpool would be way cooler and way funnier and way more fun. And he'd want to go do weird stuff and grab some drinks and bang some bitches, you know?
Exactly. But actually, my answer is the exact opposite for the same reason, though.
What?
Because I feel like Nick Cage would be crazy. I don't know. I just feel like it'd be insane to smoke down with him. Like, if I could get him to do his Bad Lieutenant. I don't even seen that yet, but basically he plays like a drug addict person that just goes nuts all the time.
Oh.
I just want to see that. And plus, I know Nick Cage is really nerdy like us, so...
Damn.
But Deadpool, it'd be cool to meet a real-life superhero. Stay tuned. At the end of the episode, we're going to ask you guys another Would You Rather to be answered on next week's podcast. But we're going to start off today's episode with a Chill Crew double feature review. First movie we saw was Zootopia, the newest Disney movie about an all-animal world with a world catering to those animals rather than like Madagascar and stuff being based in like the human world.
And what a topia it was.
I agree. Overall, I really loved the movie. Anywhere from the animation was outstanding, the voice cast was out of the park. You got
Jason Bateman.
Exactly, Jason Bateman was perfect for the Fox. J.K. Simmons as the Lion was awesome.
Parker.
Plus,
Give me those pictures of Spider-Man. He didn't say that though.
He should have. I really wish there was just like, I need those photos or something, just like a quick reference. They do make a lot of references in the movie. There's this one part where someone's in a similar like meth lab type thing, and they're like, where's Walt and Jesse?
I literally leaned over to Homer when they said Walt and Jesse in the lab scene, and I said, wow.
Overall, this movie creates a really fun world. It's an entertaining movie. I was entertained from beginning to end.
Very true. It was an entertaining movie. It definitely directed towards children.
Even though there was like adult humor sprinkled in there.
I guess, but
like that one joke when the bunny booted his stroller and you've been arrested for tax evasion.
Oh yeah.
I feel like kids wouldn't even get that.
Yeah. It had its moments, but to me it wasn't that much even of a comedy. I had a couple chuckles here and there, but it wasn't really like ha ha ha.
Yeah,
so
it was just more of like an entertaining movie, I guess.
That DMV scene with the sloths, like that
We've
was
seen it
that
too
was
many times.
literally probably the funniest part. And then of course they ended on that note too. The last scene was with the sloth as well, the speeder.
Yeah, that was funny though.
That was kind of funny. I was like, oh wow.
And the sloth scene was funny. It's just we saw it so many times, especially seeing Star Wars in theaters like 5 times.
Yeah. You get bored of it. It kind of burns you out.
Because it's just so slow. It's like I think it was a great marketing strategy, but at the same time not, because like you see the same scene over and over and over, but at the same time you don't get spoiled the entire movie for you. So it's a hit or miss, I guess.
Other than like the humor and the childish aspects to it, I thought it actually did a really good job of hitting home on more realistic philosophical concepts, if I do say so.
And another reason I feel like it's kind of more adults, like you were saying, they kind of get racist with it too.
That's what I was thinking actually, about how, not necessarily that they get racist with it, but like it shows the differences between the different types of animals and how they interact with each other and deal with each other in daily life the same way that people of different colors do. And like they even go into the movie, like Jason Bateman as the fox at one point he says
in your biology
he starts to say like once he thinks that his main bunny friend is starting to turn on him because she's just afraid because he's a fox, he's like, well, if you think I'm just gonna act like a sly dirty fox, then I'm just gonna be one then. Like, I mean, that kind of plays into the real world and people's views on each other and stuff. And they did it again with her childhood bully, the guy who cut her face in the beginning, and then later on he comes along and he's like, I'm so sorry about the way I acted, but she even defends him in the beginning of the movie. She's like, he was just some jerk. He doesn't represent all foxes. Like, they had a good,
yeah, I know
a lot
Jerk
of very
Bunny,
good
too.
points. Yeah, yeah. I know plenty of bunnies that are jerks. Like, he's just a fox that happened to be a jerk. Like, they had a lot of good family-friendly points that kind of reminded me of the Lego movie.
Dude, exactly. Honestly, I like the Lego movie a little bit better than this. But still, I think this is a guaranteed good time at the movies. And you will guarantee be entertained. But based on our unique marijuana scale, where at the lowest of the low, we got resin. It's like the stuff you scrape out of your bowl. No one wants to smoke
Looking
it.
for a desperate hit. It's just crack.
Yeah. So, no one wants that. Then you move up, we got mids, which we think the movie is okay for some people, but not for everyone. Then we got dank, where we think the movie is pretty good, pretty exceptional. And then we got wax, where this is a must-see. Stop listening to this podcast. Go to the theaters right now.
Just go see it right now if it's a wax rating.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
stop listening to it.
It'll melt your brain. And honestly, I'd have to give Zootopia a wax because I think, one, you'll be entertained guaranteed. Two, I feel like it has a lot of rewatchability, which goes into my ratings. And three, it's good for the whole family, so you can't go wrong there. What would you give it, Apollo?
Well, now that you mention it, I'm kind of glad that we took a day to digest these films after we saw them at our double feature, because at first I wanted to say Zootopia was a mids, but after doing my one-day digest of the film...
That should be a token thing, Apollo's one-day digest.
Oh, yeah. It should be a periodical.
Yeah.
But I would definitely give Zootopia a dank.
Oh,
Pretty
nice.
dank film. And
Even though it's not that funny, it's still good.
It's not that funny, but it's a very good film, and I'd show it to my kids and definitely watch it again. So
Yeah, there's much worse animated movies out there, such as Trolls, Angry Birds.
Ugh.
Plus, Zootopia did something which most studios can't do right. Talking animals. Look at Madagascar, Into the Wild, all that other trash.
Yeah.
I think that's why people were so worried about Zootopia going in, because those other movies dampening their excitement. But,
B-movie.
Oh.
Kind of.
Let's talk to bees. Anyway, speaking of which, just since this is a Stoner Man podcast, the other day we came up with a new character for Stoner Man called the Beekeeper, where basically we hope Jerry Seinfeld plays him, and basically it's about a beekeeper who wants to breed humans and bees, and he'll go to any length to make this happen to create the perfect creature. So that's just an episode
somehow
idea.
That would just, that'll be just a perfect creature. So you'll love it.
Yeah, we got really stoned when we thought of that. Anyways, moving on to our next movie, we saw Triple Nine. Paulo, can you lay us down on this Triple Nine?
To put it in layman's terms, Triple Nine was sick. I'll definitely watch it again. Definitely a few more times in my life, because it was really hardcore, really gritty and realistic. The soundtrack was off the chain. Directing was great. Acting was awesome. The casting was awesome. Woody Harrelson, Aaron Paul, that dude from Extract, Step.
Oh, Step.
Just
dude, when we saw him,
over, just...
Apollo and I went crazy because we're huge fans of that movie, Extract.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I know it's a smaller movie, so if you haven't seen Extract, go see it. It's kind of like a dry humor type thing, if you like Mike Judge. But yeah, Triple Nine, I agree with you, Apollo. Some of the scenes were so suspenseful. I was literally on the edge of my seat. But I do have some nitpicks with the movie.
Really?
One, I feel like they could have developed the characters a lot better. Because they try to fit a lot into this movie, which I understand. But I still feel like they could have done a better job at developing some of the characters. And making me care about them a little bit more.
I know what you're saying. They didn't put any time into character development, but I feel like that's because they decided to start off the movie with a straight-up heist scene. You straight up started off seeing the main characters already in the middle of a heist, and that they just get
it was a great opening.
They get straight into the action, and there is actually a mild bit of character development that you see just in how they all handle the heist. You see Aaron Paul's character. He tries to steal a bit of extra cash from the bank when they were just there for a deposit box, and the whole crew pays for it when the gas canister starts spraying red fumes all over the money and them and their car. And then the black guy, one of the black guys, I'm not even sure which one, but...
Racist. Did Zootopia teach you nothing?
One of the black guys, after they're done with the first heist, he's like screaming at Aaron Paul, how dare you be so fucking... immature and unprofessional, you pull that shit again, like I'll put a bullet in you or whatever, takes it real serious. You start to see character development, but they have to push it along real quick because they decided to start with action instead of storyline, which I actually kind of dug.
No, I dig that. I still think they could. And I feel like they gloss over certain story points a little too quick. Because we were pretty baked watching this, so...
True. It's
kind
kind
of
like
hard to follow.
It's kind of like The Godfather. You got to pay attention to every couple of words. Because if you miss like a sentence, then you'll miss a good fucking plot point right there. You might as well just leave the theater.
I feel like they could have done that a little bit better, but overall, I think it was definitely worth a dank, worth going to see in the theaters.
I would also put it in dank category. It didn't quite reach the wax point. The ending needed some work. It didn't really have any type of real like ending feel to me. There was no catharsis, as they'd say. But like, it just kind of ended, and you just gotta go see it for yourself.
And plus, like Woody Harrelson, speaking of Nicolas Cage, Woody Harrelson's character reminded me of Nicolas Cage from Bad Detective.
Oh yeah.
To a much lower scale. I'll just. We don't go into spoilers in our review, but there's a scene where Woody Harrelson's digging through the trash for like a joint. And if you were seeing Bad Lieutenant, Nicolas Cage does similar stuff, and it just reminded me so much of that. So in the car ride home, we were talking about how there should be a Bad Lieutenant 2, Woody Harrelson versus Nicolas Cage, who is the truly Bad Lieutenant.
I'd be interested in that.
I agree. Very solid double feature. I recommend seeing both these movies. And next week we're going to be reviewing 10 Cloverfield Lane and another Aaron Paul movie, Eye in the Sky, about drones or something like that. I'm not too sure, but I'm seeing it, damn it.
Me too.
And I'm going to review it for y'all.
Also, Eye in the Sky is the second to last Alan Rickman film in existence, so...
Oh, man.
Definitely worth a watch.
Keep your eyes peeled. And now we're going to move over to our movie section of the show. Our first piece of movie news, it has been confirmed that Stephen D. Knight, the showrunner from Daredevil, is going to be taking reign as director of Pacific Rim 2.
Hot mama!
And personally, I'm slightly disappointed because I'd rather have Del Toro come on, but I can understand why he can't, because the movie's been canceled so many times that like scheduling just it won't allow it anymore. So they got Stephen D. Knight, which I'm pretty excited. It's his directorial debut. Although he did direct some Daredevil stuff, he's never directed a full-length film, so I'm a little bit worried there. But then again, Pacific Rim is known for its action, which Daredevil is as well. So if you get the action from Daredevil in that giant monster fighting scene, that could be insane.
Ooh. He already does. He's done so well with Daredevil Season 1. I'm insanely excited. Like, when I heard this for Pacific Rim 2, I shit myself. I had to go change my pants.
And I'm wondering, since Del Toro's not on board anymore, wonder if they're going to stick with the original storyline where Charlie Day is going to be the main villain, which I'm fingers crossed. I hope that's the story they go with.
I would love to see that as well, Homer.
Charlie Day as in a villain role, that's so new for him. That'd be so sick.
Definitely. I'd like to see him frothing at the mouth, just like,
You've come to the wrong place.
The casual work for me now.
And if you've guys seen the remake for Godzilla, and you've seen our podcast reviewing it, everyone across the board agrees that Pacific Rim is better in every way than the Godzilla film.
Oh, absolutely.
The action is better, the story is better. Hell, even though the cast for Godzilla was better, I feel like the acting was better in Pacific Rim.
True. I barely knew anyone in Pacific Rim, and it was still a better movie than Godzilla. And I love Bryan Cranston and the kid from Kick-Ass.
But they castrated Cranston.
Oh yeah, they castrated both of them, and they castrated Godzilla. That whole movie was castrated.
Even the kid who plays Kick-Ass, he came off as so like plain and wooden.
Yeah. There was talk about no fucking character development right there. There was more character development for Godzilla than there was for anyone else.
Literally, the only... If you want to watch Godzilla, watch the last 10 minutes. That's all you need to see, dude.
Basically, that was the film. I'd rather watch the 2006 one or the way back one. Like, you know. I actually liked that one when I was a kid, weirdly enough.
Yeah, me too. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla and shit.
I don't think I seen that one. I just saw like the original like Godzilla one.
Yeah, I understand.
Not like the black and white old school. It was like the 2000s something. It might have been Japanese. I'm not sure.
I understand. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. Pacific Rim 2 is going to come out 2018, and it's very possible, since King Kong and Godzilla are facing off, that this could also lead into the Pacific Rim world, because it's the same studio.
Yes!
So we could see all this crossover into one giant monster mashup.
Yes!
It's what we want, so fingers crossed yet again.
Now we just have to wait a couple decades for all of the, studios to forgive their differences, and then we can see Avengers versus X-Men versus DC versus Godzilla versus Pacific Rim versus...
Charlie Day.
Oh yeah, versus Charlie Day. There you go. And that would be
Always Sunny versus Pacific Rim.
Jesus.
Let it happen.
Well, now we're just getting into a whole new. Oh my god, fucking A.
20 years from now, movies are gonna be a strange, strange world.
They're already a strange, strange world, dude. You seen The Room? I know you've seen The Room.
Speaking of The Room, perfect time to plug. In a couple weeks, we're gonna be doing an alternative commentary for The Room, so stay tuned. We like to do some commentaries on older movies, so leave some suggestions in the comments below.
And I have many, many things to say about The Room, and I know you all do too.
Yeah,
It's such a great movie.
The ending's the best. Wouldn't you agree, Paul?
Yeah.
We'll save that for the live stream. Stay tuned for that. Moving on to our next piece of movie news. As many of you all are, as we are excited for Batman vs. Superman, coming out March 25th. But we already have some news about the Blu-ray release. It has been confirmed that there's going to be a director's cut of the Blu-ray release, which is going to go from the 2.5 hour runtime to 3 hours. And it's also going to be rated R rather than PG-13. I think it's very interesting, because I never thought I'd see a DC or Marvel, like, proper movie go straight R.
I think it's about time.
I agree. And if one is going to do it, it might as well be DC, because they're known for the darker stories and stuff. And the comments, they say it's not really for, like, nudity or cussing or anything like that. It's for literally intense violence. That's why it's going R.
Woo!
And we're going to see, and we're obviously seeing it in theaters, so we're going to see the differences. I wonder, like, how intense this violence has to be for it to be an R rating. Where are we going to see Batman's fate snap necks and then rip people's skulls off? Who knows? I'm excited.
I hope we see all that.
This isn't the first time Zack Snyder's done this. He's also directed Watchmen. As you know, he also released an ultimate cut for that, which went from about, like, 3 hours to 4 hours.
Jesus, and it was already a good movie.
Yeah, the Ultimate Edition added a bunch of scenes and the Black Freighter storyline from the comic.
Which was awesome.
Yeah. So I have faith in Snyder's vision here for the Blu-ray release. I just wonder if other studios are going to follow in this and start releasing, like, rated R versions and on Blu-ray and stuff. The Disney Marvel ever will, but I could see, like, X-Men doing it, or maybe even Spider-Man, since that's Sony. But speaking of Spider-Man and Sony and all this rated R madness, it has been confirmed that Sony is releasing a standalone Venom movie, and it's going to be targeted for an R rating. Surprise, surprise.
A standalone Venom movie. Is that going to be without Spider-Man? And if so, how in the fuck will that work?
Honestly, no one knows. If it's going to be R, I doubt Spider-Man's... I don't know how this makes any sense. Because Spider-Man is now part of the Avengers universe. Does that mean Venom's not going to be related to Spider-Man at all? If so, that's garbage. 2, I think if you're introducing Venom, you should introduce him in a Spider-Man movie first, which they still could be doing. We don't know yet. If they just, like, do a sloppy origin and they just try to get a cash grab, which it kind of seems like getting off the Deadpool hype,
yeah,
I'm pretty worried about this movie.
I'm not personally looking forward to it too much. I love Spider-Man, I love superheroes, but, like, Venom literally has no personality. Isn't he just supposed to be, like, a bad version of Spider-Man? Like,
yeah, well, I guess to argue that, you could say, like, Eddie Brock has one.
Oh, okay, yeah, there's that whole thing, okay.
Oh, but I will say this. Because originally with the Amazing Spider-Man, they were planning to do eventually a Venom versus Carnage movie. If they do that, I'd be on board.
I would not be down for more Amazing Spider-Mans, though. That's the only problem.
Oh, no. Well, all that scrapped. Amazing Spider-Man's in the toilet now.
Well, yeah, it was always in the toilet.
So this is going to be a new version of if they decide to stick with Venom versus Carnage, which I think could actually be insanely good. And for you guys who don't know, you probably know Venom from the Spider-Man 3 movie, but Carnage, he's basically another symbiote that's, like, formed from Venom because he reproduces asexually. So he produces another symbiote who goes onto a body of a serial killer. So naturally, Carnage is way more violent, way more insane, and that's the only reason Venom has to stop him, because Carnage goes, like, too crazy.
Jesus Christ, that would be crazy.
So if they do that, that's, like, the only spin I'd be down for, to be honest. And now, more superhero news, guys.
Whoa.
And it's actually about the DCU. We are all excited for the Suicide Squad movie coming out soon, in August. The studio loves the movie so much that they're already starting to plan the second movie, which is going to start filming early next year. Which is honestly pretty ballsy considering the fans haven't even seen the movie. We haven't seen the box office. We don't know if this movie's going to succeed. But from
they do.
Yeah. We have our guesses it'll succeed because pretty much every fucking superhero movie does these days. And the trailers are looking bomb. Even Jared Leto as a Joker, which I was iffy about at first. I think he's going to nail it out of the park. I like to see Will Smith as Deadshot.
That's an interesting pick for sure.
Yeah. I still think it's weird, but I'm sure it'll work. And then Katana, we finally get to see her on the big screen. It's like one of the first movies ever, besides Venom vs. Carnage, when that comes. But this will be the first movie based about the villains. That's really interesting. It's going to be like the villain version of Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess. Because like it's a squad and all that, but they're not in outer space.
Soon they will be. That'll be the next one. Guardians of the Galaxy versus Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad in space. Woo, doggy.
They did it with Ice Age. They'll do it with this.
Oh, yeah. When we were at Zootopia, when we saw that Ice Age trailer, I was just like...
I wanted to shit myself.
Actually, most of the trailers we saw, I wanted to shit myself. Zootopia, Angry Birds, Trolls. Put those all in the garbage and into some parallel universe of burning spider torture. And now we're going to move on over to trailers of the week. Womp, 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 womp.
Woo-woo.
Clickety, clackety, clickety, clackety.
Clickety, clackety, clickety.
And speaking of Zootopia trailers, the first one we checked out was Finding Dory. And honestly, I'm a huge Pixar fan, huge Disney fan, huge fan of Finding Nemo. But this trailer was meh for me. The jokes weren't on point. I feel like they're rehashing a lot of stuff from the first one, like when she's in that tank again in the restaurant rather than the dentist office. She's looking to save her family. Sure, we get some cool backstory on Dory, but Dory was never my favorite character to begin with.
I'm not too interested in seeing this. I'm sure because they're Pixar, they're gonna,
Yeah, I'm still sure it's gonna be good.
I mean, who honestly saw Finding Nemo and just thought, I want to see a Dory movie? I mean, like...
I agree. I mean...
Who's even gonna remember it, right?
And are Marlin and Nemo gonna be huge parts in this movie? And I thought it was cheesy that they're back on the turtles.
Yeah, he's back with the turtle. And...
The same turtle, what are the chances? So, a lot of reasons that... I don't think this will be Pixar's best. I'm hoping... Right now, at this point, I'm hoping for good rather than exceptional, which Pixar usually does. Like last year with Inside Out and Good Dinosaur. 2 great movies. And Finding Dory is coming out June 17th. You better believe we're going to double feature that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Next trailer we checked out was for the Ghostbusters reboot. Boy, oh boy. What to say about this?
Is it literally a reboot?
Yes.
Oh my god. I thought it was just going to be in the same universe, but with
No.
different... Oh
that
my
would make
God.
sense, Apollo.
No, that's what I thought it... Oh, now I really hate this film. What the hell?
And to make you even more disgusted, there's going to be cameos from the original cast.
Wow.
So why not just make it in the same universe if the cast is coming back?
Why don't I just hang myself instead of going to see this movie? That's what I have to say.
And if you guys have been listening to podcasts for the past year or so, I've always been iffy about this movie, but I'm always the optimist. This trailer has made me not optimistic at all about this movie. None of the jokes really hit for me. The ending one was kind of funny where her head starts turning and the black lady goes crazy on her.
Starts slapping her around.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
That was probably about it. The story didn't look good. The ghost designs look terrible in my opinion. My biggest worry this past year, if you've been listening, has been Paul Feig. I hate his films. The Heat, Spy, all that other Melissa McCarthy garbage. So I was very worried.
I thought Spy was okay.
I haven't seen it, to be honest, so I shouldn't judge it too harshly, but it doesn't look good. So, and I've seen The Heat, and I did not care for that. So I was already worried, but after seeing this trailer, it's like the nail in the coffin. I think this is going to suck. Chris Hemsworth is in it, and I think literally he's going to be the only funny part of the movie. And he wasn't even featured in the trailer only for a second.
Yeah. Doesn't say a word, he's in there for a second.
I just know he's supposed to play the secretary. And I feel like this is a shame for the reboot, because fans of Ghostbusters have been waiting years for this, and now they're just getting shit on.
Yeah, they're basically castrating the fucking reboot. It's sad.
And I'm not just saying that for the female cast, which everyone online likes to pick at. The female cast was fine, It's just the material that's on the screen.
Yeah, it honestly seems like they're kind of using that as a base point to jump off of. Like, hey, look, it's an all-female cast. You have to love it, or else you're sexted.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, if I just base my opinion, people are like, oh, it's just because there's a female cast.
Like, no, it's because it's not funny.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't even that big of a fan of the first ones, but this one does not look
And plus, like,
any
since
type of improvement.
I'm also disappointed because we've had Ghostbusters our whole lives. If you really sit down and think about it, it's a great idea for a movie, like a team that gets together, captures ghosts, like makes a business out of it. And the first one's actually really, it's a classic for a reason. It's really funny. I'm just so disappointed, and I feel like all you Ghostbusters fans are with me. What did we watch? And they even recreate the library scene from the first one. And I literally see memes that comparing the two ghosts, and the 80s version ghost looks better than the new one.
Jesus Christ.
That just goes to show, stick with the original on this one. And now, our next trailer. This is a joke of the movie, literally. It's called Medea's Halloween. And basically, this movie all started from a movie coming out early 2015 called Top 5 featuring Chris Rock. In the movie, Chris Rock literally makes a joke about what's next, Medea's Halloween. And lo and behold,
Here it comes.
Tyler Perry saw that movie. He's like, "Good idea, Chris Rock." These movies were already a joke, and now they are literally a joke. I don't know how these movies are still getting made. How do they make money? Who wants to see these ridiculous fat black lady movies anymore?
I guarantee you, billions of people will pay to see this film more.
Oh, what was that one with Matthew Lawrence where he played the fat black lady? It was like Aunt Mama or something. Big Mama, that's it. Big Mama's House. Yeah.
I was thinking,
That's probably my favorite of the fat black suit movies.
I was literally thinking Fat Mama.
And then you got Norbit, which was also an abomination. So these are not my cup of tea. And literally, normally I just ignore like smaller, ridiculous movies like this, but since it was based off a joke, I just felt like I had to bring this up. That knowing your jokes can be turned into a movie.
Literally. You make one joke offhand and it'll become something, so be careful what you wish for.
I wonder if Chris Rock's going to be seeing this movie. I bet you he makes a cameo.
20% chance.
And our final trailer of the week. Normally we don't cover foreign films, but we decided to throw that rule out the window for this one. We have Ring versus The Grudge, which is coming out in Japan June 18th this year. One reason I wanted to bring this up, Japanese movies tend to be popular in America, which causes a American studio to remake those movies, such as The Ring, The Grudge, One Missed Call, all those other Japanese movies. And I'm kind of hoping this does get a remake in America. On the surface, Ring doesn't really excite me, and Grudge doesn't excite me. But when you put them facing each other, I get kind of excited.
Yeah, kind of like Freddy vs. Jason. I was never really a huge fan of either of those two guys in their beginnings, but seeing them square off, it was a fucking awesome movie. So something like this, I would definitely look forward to.
And plus, I'm wondering how the fighting is going to go down. Paul, have you seen either of these movies? Well, basically, The Ring is about if you watch a videotape, you die in 7 days.
How the fuck is that supposed to go against anything?
No, exactly. And then The Grudge, like, it pops up, and then, like, it kills you off camera most of the time, because Japanese movies like to rely on, like, psychological horror more than, like, slashers, like America does.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, how are these people going to fight? Because it never really shows them in action, kind of like Freddy and Jason did. So I'm wondering, like, how this is going to go down, which fascinates me even more.
It does sound like it's going to be fucking interesting.
Like, what happens? Does the Grudge watch the movie?
Yeah, what's going to...
And they battle out in 7 days?
It's going to be like Freddy going into Jason's dreams. Like, they'll write it in. It'll work.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll work.
Them crazy Japs.
Plus, even if it doesn't get an American remake, you can watch it online. Watch it with subs.
Subs, never dubs.
Because normally, people claim, like, The Ring and Grudge and stuff are better in their Japanese versions. Because America just likes to milk the jump scares. Where Japan knows better. If this doesn't get remade in America, I feel like they're going to rely on jump scares. So,
I'll definitely be down to see this one.
But speaking of the trailer itself, it was a really short, like 30-second teaser type thing. And we didn't really see anything, to be honest.
Nothing at all.
But I did love, like, when it started showing the names in the credits, you just hear, like, a cat noise.
Little cat meow.
That was the best part of the trailer for me.
Yeah, that was golden. And now we're on to our TV news of the week. And it's something that I know a fuckload of people are going to be excited for. Rick and Morty Season 3. At the end of Season 2, Mr. Poopy Butthole left us with the teaser that we would have to wait for at least a year and a half.
Or longer.
Yeah, or longer. Like, so time to freeze ourselves in a tube, right?
Exactly. That was a great post-credit scene, though.
Yeah. But, it looks like it's not going to take that long, because the creator, Dan Harmon, actually mentioned at a Comic-Con interview that the third season of Rick and Morty should be coming out late 2016.
Thank the good Lord Almighty.
And it will have at least 14 episodes.
Oh, the biggest season yet.
Hell yes. I'm super fucking excited for this one.
Especially without spoiling it for those who have not seen it, the huge cliffhanger ending of Season 2.
Yes. Can't wait to see how that all turns out.
I'm glad we don't have to wait a year and a half or longer.
I know, right?
A part of me knew they were joking, but part of me was like, why?
No, why are you doing this to me?
And if you haven't seen the show, the comedy is actually very similar to Stoner Man. So I highly recommend you watch it. And especially stay tuned for those post-credit scenes. They're always pretty smart and pretty funny.
Very true. I love them.
Rick and Morty has like that hilarious humor that you would never think of a million years. Like the Meeseeks and all that crazy stuff.
Rick and Morty is one of those shows where you don't want to miss a scene because it's so funny. Because you'll miss a hilarious joke you'll be laughing at for the next week.
And it's like smart humor too, not garbage like fart jokes.
Yeah. It's no Beavis and Butthead.
And honestly, I was afraid to watch Rick and Morty at first because Adult Swim, most of their shows are garbage nowadays.
Yeah, a lot of them are very questionable.
But then I forgot how I finally watched when I was sold instantly off the first episode. It's hard to hate that first episode. Rick and Morty forever, rickandmorty.com.
Oh yeah. They just did a great job of it. It's such a self-aware and just retarded, ridiculous, yet smart and funny show. Just, you have to watch it. You have to watch it, and the third season's coming out late this year, so just catch up now while you have the chance. Catch up now.
Hell yeah.
rickandmorty.com. www.rickandmorty. 100,000 years forever, Rick and Morty.
Season 1's on Hulu. I'm sure they're going to add Season 2 soon, so great way to catch up. Moving on to our next piece of television news. If you 90 kids out there remember the Nickelodeon game show Legends of the Temple. I know it's going to be hard to remember. It was canceled about like 95 or so. But honestly, as a kid, I loved it. It is getting rebooted. On the surface, I was pretty excited because I wanted to be part of the game show. Till I started reading, it's being rebooted into a movie.
What the hell?
How are you going to turn a game show into a movie?
We've seen weirder things.
Like, basically the show is kind of like a kid's version of, like, American Ninja. As close as I could describe it. They go through, like, these obstacles, try to get to the top of the temple. It was a cool show, to be honest. And they had, like, a talking, like, stone head, which is apparently going to return in the movie. They're taking elements from the gameplay in the movie. I just feel like this is going to be a huge disaster, especially with Nickelodeon nowadays. Nickelodeon does not know how to do it anymore.
Yeah, they're just kind of phoning it in at this point.
The mighty have fallen. They bastardized my turtles.
Bastardized SpongeBob way farther than I ever thought possible. Aren't they still...
They're still coming out.
Jesus fucking
New
Lord.
episodes coming out
fucking
late March, I think.
Hang me now, please. That show has been done for years.
It's been done since, what, 2004?
It is not funny anymore. Fucking watch it and
It's
not
not
laugh.
funny.
Why are you doing it?
But yeah, I just thought you guys should be aware. I'm also kind of worried because Nickelodeon's talking about rebooting a lot of their 90s shows because obviously none of their new shit's working.
Oh my god, please don't destroy my fucking nostalgia.
And
Rocko's Modern Life reboot. Rugrats reboot.
They haven't mentioned either of those yet, thank God. But we reported
Praise
this
Allah.
a couple months ago. Hey Arnold's the first one to be rebooted.
Oh yeah, aren't they doing a movie now? Ooh.
And we said that could go either way, but I'm hoping for the best.
I have high hopes for that just because I love Hey Arnold.
I know. I just hope they don't make it all weird 3D animation and just garbage.
Keep it classic football head.
Yeah, football head. Now we're going to finish off our television news with a review. Review for the newest Netflix series, Fuller House. I was pretty skeptical going into the show because, one, it's been about, 20 years since the original?
It's been a minute.
Two, I wasn't sure how I'd like the female dynamic of them all being moms now. I didn't know how that would work. But overall, it was pretty good. Honestly, start off to a rocky start. In the first episode, you could tell some of the older actors haven't acted in a while. It's kind of hard to watch. But I feel like as the show goes on, it starts to like get its groove. Like it really captures the original, I feel like, especially with the moms. They got their characters down really well. And I feel like they got some of the cheesy, like clean humor down at the same time. But one hilarious thing about the humor is that I don't know what happened backstage, but they keep calling out Mary-Kate and Ashley throughout the show. Like, they just keep calling shots at her about like how they're running a fashion empire now rather than be acting and stuff. They do it like 4 or 5 times in the season. So I feel like Mary-Kate and Ashley straight up talk shit to them or something. And that's why they're doing that.
I love it.
But one plot point I don't really understand is they make Danny, Jesse, and Joey all move out of the house on the first episode. But then throughout the first season, they keep like, oh, we're back in town for blah, blah, blah. Next episode, we're back in town for blah, blah, blah. Just have them move down the street or something if that's what you're going to do.
Wow.
Awesome seeing the original cast grow up. A lot of them look almost the same, actually. I was kind of shocked. Like, DJ looks almost the same. Kimmy looks the same.
I'd still bang them both.
Definitely. It's actually kind of weird because you watch them grow up, so it's like... But honestly, I'd have to give this new Netflix series a dank. Just because if you love the original, I feel like there's a lot to love about this remake. But before I end this review, one more complaint. The new catchphrase, holy chalupas, is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because you remember the original show, they had catchphrases, you got it, dude, how rude, and all that. Which they do milk in the new series, kind of.
Holy chalupas?
Yeah, there's this little kid who just screams, holy chalupas! And I think it's so dumb, and they...
I'm gonna guess the fucking recorded crowd just screams out in laughter when he says that.
Yes.
Word on the street is that this new catchphrase gets a straight up thumbs down from Steven.
And I guarantee it too. Me and Steven were actually talking. We were like, why not just do holy guacamole?
That sounds better. That sounds
more natural.
Verbally natural.
Holy chalupas. Have you even eaten chalupa, a little 5-year-old kid?
Bastards. Savage idiots.
Anyways, I do feel like they were able to recapture that 90s goodness that Full House had, so definitely worth a watch if you're a fan.
If you're a fan.
Yeah, it's obviously not for everyone. It's like that clean, like, humor.
That clean family humor you want your kids to watch when they're 12.
Yeah, but adults can still enjoy it. And now we're going to finish off today's episode with some video game news.
Woob, woob, woob.
And next week, the first episode for the Hitman game is coming out.
Holy shit, am I looking forward to that action.
And we just got the opening cinematics for the game. Apollo, how did you feel about that opening?
Well, I'm thinking right now that was just a cinematic trailer.
No, that's the opening to the game.
Yeah, oh, okay, yeah, because the graphics were, like, insanely beautiful in that.
Yeah.
So my hopes are really high for the game itself, and I've only played one of the Hitman game, Hitman Absolution.
Which those graphics were pretty good for the time, too.
They were fantastic for the PS3 at the time, and the gameplay and storyline were both insanely badass.
And they're going to improve upon the gameplay with added, like, customization kills, added doorways, more interactions.
Well, not so much the Xbox One, but with the PS4, you have more controllability with the controller, with the touchpad.
Yeah, and you get the speaker.
And the 6-axis, and the speaker, and the light bar.
True that. But one thing I'm curious of why they're doing this, but it's kind of cool at the same time. They're releasing this game episodically. I think it's going to be 5 episodes total. We're getting the first one next week, March 11th, and they're going to be released throughout the year. I've never seen like a big game like this do that before.
Yeah, I know. I was not expecting this at all. When it said, like, what did it say? The season premieres, like, soon? It's like, what the fuck? What do you mean there's going to be a show? Like,
yeah, I've never seen like a big blockbuster game do this. Like, we've seen Telltale do it all the time. Life is Strange.
So Life is Strange. Yeah, this is going to be this year's Life is Strange for me, but it's Hitman. Total opposites.
And I wonder how it's going to work. Life is Strange and Telltale games end off story-based thing. Is this going to be open world? How is this game going to work? After you read the story, does it just kind of end?
Well, the other
next week?
Hitman's, or at least Hitman Absolution was not open world, and the way they do the levels, it very well could be done episode driven. To me, I feel like they could definitely do it very well.
And maybe it gives them like time to fix little bugs and stuff throughout, and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was saying, because The Division also comes out March 11th, it's like, oh, I don't know if I have enough money for two $60 games. Since it's an episode, it's probably going to be like $10-$20. I could probably afford that.
True.
And you better believe we're reviewing that as soon as we get our paws on it. And now, our final piece of video game news and final piece of news of the week. The newest PlayStation update is coming soon, and the rumors are you're going to be able to appear offline, which you haven't been able to do for some reason. In your party chat, you're going to be able to see your friend's gameplay and jump right in if you want to do the share play, which they promised from launch.
Super cool. Well, that's if your internet connection's fast enough.
Yeah, of course. That's true with a lot of gaming, though. Of course, more emojis and stuff, stability and stuff.
Fuck emojis, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, but those first two I mentioned were the two big ones. Paulo, are you excited for this update of sorts, even though it's kind of a smaller one?
I mean, it's about time they added in being able to see what other people were doing in parties. I mean, how hard is that?
Yeah.
When you already have the share play and streaming and all that built straight in with the share button. It's ready at any given moment on the system. You might as well incorporate it into the networking.
Dude, just let me mention this really quick. I hope they fix that disc thing that happened with that one update a while ago where, like, you have to restart your PS4 to start the disc for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I know some people are having trouble with it, me
Is
included.
that your problem with the Phantom Pain and the Guitar Hero and all that? Oh, that's good. I thought it was a problem with just the disc tray itself.
Nah, a lot of people had that problem after a certain update, and it hasn't been fixed since, so it better be fixed with this update. Literally every time it says, do you want to report this? I report, why, Sony, why, or fuck you, or something. Because it happens so often, I have to report it like 3 times a day. They believe me, they hear from me.
One time in the report your error box, I wrote, like, how am I supposed to pound off when my system's crashing like this?
True. I'm sure they get a lot of that. Internet won't load. I can't pound it. I need to pound it to my Phantom Pain.
That's what I call the Phantom Pain, my masturbation sessions.
Ooh. I'm going to go to the bathroom for some Phantom Pain real quick. Which is actually weird because you know what Phantom Pain means?
It's when you feel the pain of a limb that's removed.
Exactly.
Like, so it's like basically you're pounding it to a lost dick or something.
Or you're pounding it so hard that it feels like it's been removed.
Jesus.
Who knows?
Yeah, whatever way. I feel like we've talked about that enough.
Yeah. This isn't the Pound Off cast. Or is it?
Who would you rather take out for a romantic evening, Jason Bateman or Aaron Paul?
Alright, ladies, you heard it. Who would you take out for a romantic evening? Aaron Paul or Jason Bateman?
And, you know, not necessarily ladies, men too. Questions open to everyone.
Yeah, we're not discriminating here. And we're going to give our answers next week, so stay tuned. It's going to be interesting.
Tune in, we'll be live, we'll be here.
Thank you all for listening. And I just want to take this time to make a major announcement for the webpage. As some of you guys might have noticed, stonerman.net is down temporarily. It's because we're moving up in the world. We're going to become stonerman.com.
Woo!
And it's going to have all new pages, all new character bios. The podcast will be on there. New stoner stories. It's going to be new and improved. And thanks to you guys' help, we were able to get stonerman.com instead of shady stonerman.net.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Sean Connery approves of this message.
And as always, stay left, my friends.
Have a good night, everyone. It's been fun. I'll see you next time.
And always remember, may the force be with you. Always.